AEW Fight Forever is a good video game. That's what I think. And look, admittedly, it does lack some depth at the moment, but everybody involved has said we're working on that, and soon we're going to take our content power and bestow it upon the game. Or something. All I know is that I do really enjoy it, but of course there's a bunch of stuff that fans would like to see. So here's 10 things that we should put in AEW Fight Forever 2, or incrementally update it, which kind of does seem to be the hint. Number 10, better roster choices. Now you do still get a good haul of AEW wrestlers when you do load up Fight Forever from the disc or digitally, whatever the hell you are doing, but Ukes did come out and say, look, we are going to support this with DLC, which means some of your favorite superstars, well, they're not there yet. And look, I know that downloadable content annoys some people. I totally understand that. But you can't just point the finger at Fight Forever here. Very sadly, this is just what the game industry has become. So even though fans were super sad that the likes of Toni Storm, the AEW Women's Champion, and FTR, the AEW Tag Team Champions, weren't just waiting for them, you can still get them. So it is quite a difficult situation. It requires some balance. It's probably a completely different video for a different day. So of course you need to make money, but you do need to serve your audience as well. So maybe it is something we could address going forward and just try to get that balance right. I mean, Cash and Dax are so ingrained in the All Elite Wrestling product, it kind of stands to reason that you'd expect them to just be there. So let's live and learn. Number 9, more attires per wrestler. I can't lie, this one doesn't mean that much to me, because I'll play around with different attires for about an hour or so, and then I'll forget. Just get into the core experience. As Fight Forever is a little bit of a homage to the N64 games though, you were always going to get the comparison, and in things like No Mercy, my word, there was so much wrestling gear, I used to go, well, this is unbelievable, nobody would even be able to fit it in their suitcase. Now there are multiple slots here, but in terms of clothes that are good to go, well, there's only a few options. I mean, I would have snuck some Riot gear in there for John Moxley. I mean, everybody would know what you're doing, but who cares? A good rule of thumb does seem to be 2 to 4 pieces of wrestling attire per wrestler, but once again, if we do keep getting these updates, by the end of the year, maybe we'll have 412, which again is way too many. Number 8, full entrances. So as mentioned before, this whole list is what the fans have been chatting about en masse, but I have to be honest with you and get yelled at. I just don't agree. Because a full entrance in a wrestling game does help with the overall presentation, but once again, I'll watch it once, maybe twice, but more often than not, I just want to get into nitty-gritty and smack somebody right in the face. Also, I quite like the short entrances in AEW, and that you can trigger pyrotechnics whenever you want. I know I'm part of the problem, somebody kill me. If we are going for the perfect experience though, yes, of course you need to include these, but maybe we can just come up with some happy medium where it's a little bit longer than the 10 seconds or so you get now, but you don't have to spend all this time developing it, because look, as you're going to see, I think there are other areas that would benefit far more. Number 7, smarter AI. I mean, this goes for every single game ever, but when it is out in the wild, you can see what user feedback is, take your pipe, and then start to tweak it so the experience is better. This is why I like the idea of these constant updates, because hopefully AEW and Ukes can do this, and then they can provide us with an ever better product. I mean, something that's definitely come up when it comes to Fight Forever is the Casino Battle Royale, because sometimes the computer opponents do seem to struggle with throwing other people over the top rope, which means you have to do it all. That's just quite tiring. You also sometimes get teammates warring with each other. I do know it's every man for itself, but those are just those little things that put something over the edge. For example, if FTR, who we've already mentioned, get into a casino battle royale and for a little bit they're helping each other, you just go, man, that's brilliant. Making these sort of changes will just make things feel more complete then. I actually think they will be on the way. Everybody involved has already discussed it. Number 6, a bigger career mode. Right, we do have to underline and remember that this is our first attempt at a brand new video game. And when you are actually building something from the ground up, well, it requires a lot of effort and time. Also, when it does come to the road to the elite mode, there are so many nice little additions to this. I mean, you can go sightseeing. I never thought that was going to be in a wrestling game. It also harks back to the experiences of yesteryear, which I also enjoy, because if you are going to offer me different franchises, I want them to feel different. At the moment, that box has been ticked. It can just feel a little bit threadbare at the moment, and you can get through it quite fast. Now I'm going to start repeating myself, but this mode is primed and ready to be updated. I mean, you could extend a whole extra season onto it. It would also entice you to go back in, and do not forget that is the end goal with all video games these days. They are terrified that you may stop playing it and sell it on to somebody else. So if you are worried about this, I wouldn't be. I think it's coming, I can smell it. Number 5, a GM mode. Now I'm going to be that guy once more, because given the amount of work that did go into Fight Forever, I'm sure they thought about a GM mode and then went, man, this is really difficult, I don't think we should do it right now. You also do not want to release it without all the bells and whistles, but just go look at the wider community. Do you know what they love more than anything, even more than their own mother? A flipping GM mode. I mean, it is borderline obsessive and I do appreciate the passion, but actually look at the AEW layout right now. So we have Dynamite, we have Collision, and we have Rampage. All the things are in place to actually do it. I mean, you could have Tony Khan, Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and maybe even Rennie Paquette as the head honchos that you get to choose. Also, everybody keeps going on about how, Bryan Danielson is more involved in creative now. Well, he could do it too. And we know everybody would enjoy that. We all love the American Dragon. Ultimately, it will get people pumped up though. That's the idea. Number 4, more match types. I'm actually quite pleased that we did focus on the gameplay here rather than go, oh my gosh, we've got to go crazy with options. And we did get a barbed wire deathmatch. Now I'm sure something out there does exist. I can't remember the last time I got that in a digital experience. However, there are some other AEW staples that are just calling out for this, such as Blood and Guts. And I understand that's not easy to implement, but of course you want it as a fan, especially because right now in Fight Forever, we don't even have a cage match. So maybe we could start there and then build and try and figure out how we do get to round 2. But once the gameplay is in a good state, yes, you need things to surround around it. Otherwise, people do get a little bit bored. Number 3, the creator suite. I mean, we have just been spoiled by WWE 2K. We just have. I mean, say what you want about those games, but 2K has spent years making this right, to the point you can search for anything and somebody has made it. I mean, go look for Godzilla, go look for a dinosaur, go look for a wall that has eyes and a mouth. Somebody has made it and it looks pretty damn good. Therefore, AEW's offering in comparison does feel a little bit light, but this brings me back down to the entrances. Don't spend time giving me a full entrance. Work on the creator suite. Let me create Superman. And all you do need to do is give individuals as many tools as possible, because what we have seen is that people are so damn imaginative, they will figure out how to make it work. I want to make it clear, I am not one of those guys. I jump off everybody else's back. It's also a very selfish request because I love seeing what people come up with, and of course I can then input it into my game. Which brings me to number 2, a community hub. It does tie right into this one as well. Of course, you want a central space where we can all come together and go, hey, download my stuff, and then I'll up yours up the winglet. This is mostly an online request, and usually in these development cycles, it's the online stuff that comes last. But if people are being this damn creative, just want to be able to go onto the World Wide Web and download it, and then laugh with my friend. It also means that we can start expanding our own rosters to the point you just know it will happen. In fact, it already has. I can have Roman Reigns in an AEW ring and put him against Kenny Omega. And of course I have Roman wins, and even though it's a made-up experience in my own house, somebody will walk in and go, I can't believe you did that. But that's just the nature of being a fan. Number 1, mastering the online space. So this is quite unfair because really nobody has done that yet. It just means the opportunity is there. Because one day somebody is going to come up with the greatest way to take a wrestling game online, and it's going to rock. And there does need to be a lot of freedom with Fight Forever, which is why I do have hope. I would just love it if there was some kind of community story mode or online tournament where they actually had ramifications for your actions. So if you lose, you can still take it somewhere else, and if you win, you've got a bunch of other real people going, wow, he's a champion. I mean, there is no rush, but it'd be straight number 1 on the wish list for me. Although you know what it's never going to beat, and I like to remind people of this, sitting on the same sofa and playing in-room multiplayer with your buddies, with your pals, and with your friends. That will make you feel warm and fuzzy in your tum-tum, and that's where I've got all my worth from AEW Fight Forever so far. I can't lie. That's all I ever really wanted. Now, of course, please do put a comment below and let me know what else you would like to see in Fight Forever, because who knows, maybe somebody will see this and make it happen. Before you like the video, share the video and subscribe, and click the video on the screen to carry on your What Culture journey. You can also go to whatculture.com, where we'll keep you up to date with things like this, and we're on social media, but more importantly, if you are playing, keep on enjoying. If you are thinking about getting it, I think it's worthwhile, but of course, you must be able to afford it first. Don't be frivolous with your money. This is Papa Simon signing off. Take care, love you lots, goodbye. Eat your sandwiches.